Ever wondered how you'd spend your time if you had just 5 seconds on Uranus? No, not that one. Get your mind out of the gutter. Today, we're embarking on an epic space odyssey to Uranus, the seventh planet from the Sun. And no, we're not talking about your neighbor's questionable astronomy project. We're talking about a journey of astronomical proportions to the true blue icy gas giant that's been the butt of jokes for way too long. Our celestial voyage is no Sunday drive in the park. It's a journey that will take us past some of the most awe-inspiring sights in our solar system. We'll swing by the colossal Jupiter with its grandeur and its famous Great Red Spot, a storm that's been raging for centuries. We'll whisk past Saturn, taking a peek at its iconic rings, a spectacle that leaves even the most seasoned astronomers awestruck. And then, we'll continue our journey to the real star of the show, Uranus. It's a planet that's often overlooked, mostly because of its unfortunate name, but also because it's so darn far away. Located a staggering 1.8 billion miles from Earth, getting to Uranus is quite the trek, even in the world of interplanetary travel. But what makes Uranus worth the trip? Well, it's a gas giant with a twist. Unlike its fellow gas giants, Uranus rolls around the sun on its side, making for some seriously weird seasons. This icy planet also boasts a set of 13 rings, a feature that it modestly hides in the shadow of Saturn's more glamorous ring system. And if that's not enough to pique your curiosity, consider this. Uranus is one of the coldest places in our solar system, with temperatures that would make even a penguin shiver. Its atmosphere is a toxic cocktail of hydrogen, helium, and a dash of methane, which gives the planet its lovely blue color. So buckle up, space travelers. We're going on a virtual journey to the most misunderstood planet in our solar system. Now, Uranus isn't just your run-of-the-mill gas giant, it's got rings. 13 of them to be exact, but don't expect a proposal. Yes, you heard it right. Uranus, the seventh planet from the Sun, is the proud owner of 13 rings. Now, I know what you're thinking. Rings? I thought Saturn was the ringed beauty. It's true, Saturn's rings are the superstar of the solar system, but Uranus is not to be outdone. These rings, though not as grandiose as Saturn's, are still a sight to behold. They're not as noticeable because they're darker, more like thin, murky stripes encircling the planet than the shiny hoops around Saturn. They're made up of small particles, ranging from tiny ice grains to chunks the size of a small car, all orbiting in a complex ballet around Uranus. Now, navigating through these rings would be a bit like playing the world's most intense game of dodgeball while traveling at incredible speeds. You'd have to dodge and weave through this cosmic obstacle course, all while keeping your spaceship intact. And here's a fun fact. We didn't even know Uranus had rings until 1977. That's right, while Saturn was flaunting its rings, Uranus kept its under wraps for centuries. Astronomers only discovered them when they noticed stars seemed to blink out briefly as Uranus passed in front of them, leading to the realization that something was orbiting the planet. The rings of Uranus are a testament to the incredible diversity and mystery of our solar system. They remind us that even though we've come a long way in our understanding of the cosmos, there is still so much more to discover. So if you ever find yourself on a spaceship to Uranus, don't forget to pack your binoculars. You wouldn't want to miss the cosmic dance of these 13 rings, each with its own unique charm and character. Remember, when it comes to Uranus, the rings are just the beginning of the fun. Hope you packed your warm clothes because Uranus is one chilly customer. Now that we've navigated through the not-so-glamorous rings of Uranus, let's dive deeper into the planet's unique atmosphere. Uranus is a gas giant, so you might be wondering, does this planet even have a surface? Well, not in the traditional sense. You won't find any rocky landscapes or mountains here. Instead, Uranus is made up mostly of swirling gases and icy materials. Hydrogen and helium make up a large part of the atmosphere, with a sprinkle of methane thrown in for good measure. That methane is what gives Uranus its blue-green hue, like a frozen emerald in the far reaches of our solar system. So let's say we're brave enough, or crazy enough, to descend into this swirling gas ball. What would we find? Well, as we dive deeper, we'd encounter a layer of hot ice or superionic water. This is a bizarre state of matter where water molecules break apart, and the oxygen atoms form a crystalline lattice, while the hydrogen atoms move freely around. It's like the universe's own sci-fi version of water. But let's not forget about the temperature. Uranus is frigid, and we're not just talking about a bit of winter chill. It's one of the coldest planets in our solar system, with temperatures dipping down to -370 degrees Fahrenheit in its upper atmosphere. That's colder than the average temperature on Pluto. But hold on, it's not all icy winds and superionic water. Uranus has a few tricks up its sleeve. It's got the weirdest tilt of any planet in our solar system, with an axial tilt of about 98 degrees. This means that its north and south poles are where most other planets have their equators. So, for half a Uranian year, one pole is in constant sunlight, while the other is in constant darkness. Talk about a world of extremes. So, if you're planning a quick trip to Uranus, maybe bring a sweater, or 5. So, we finally made it to Uranus and have 5 seconds. Ready, set, go. 5 seconds. It doesn't seem like much time, does it? Time enough to tie your shoelace perhaps, or sneeze, or even drop a spoonful of soup. But on Uranus, 5 seconds is a different story. First off, let's not forget that we're standing on a planet that doesn't even have a solid surface. That's right, folks. It's a gas giant, which means you'd be floating in an atmosphere of hydrogen, helium, and methane. Not exactly a picnic spot, is it? It's like trying to have tea in the middle of a hurricane. And remember, this isn't just any atmosphere, it's a toxic one. You'd be enveloped in clouds of methane, which, if you're not a cow, isn't exactly your favorite kind of gas. You'd have a better chance of surviving a meeting with a skunk than taking a deep breath here. In these 5 seconds, you'd also experience temperatures that make Antarctica feel like a tropical beach. We're talking about minus 200 degrees Celsius, that's colder than a polar bear's toenails. So don't forget your thermal undies. On the bright side, you'd be experiencing a gravity that's slightly less than Earth's, so you'd feel a bit lighter, like you've lost a couple of pounds. If only weight loss was this easy back on Earth, am I right? But don't let all this scare you. In these 5 seconds, you'd also be surrounded by the majesty of Uranus's 13 rings and the mesmerizing view of the distant sun. You'd be a part of something so vast, so incredible, it would dwarf all the challenges and discomforts. And then, just like that, the 5 seconds would be over. You'd be whisked away, leaving behind the icy, gaseous wonderland of Uranus, with a tale to tell that's out of this world. And there you have it, 5 seconds on Uranus. It's a short trip, but hey, at least you can brag about it at parties.